welcome to the $20,000 Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. It's a chilly day here in Reddick, Florida, but we have hot action coming up.
We have
Kathy.
some hot action coming up, that's right.
So I'm Jenny Autry, delighted to be joined by Kathy Weishoff. We will be bringing you all the action live. This has become a show that everyone looks forward to early in the season, Kathy.
They certainly do, and I mean, it was a brainchild of Scott's to have a quality show jumping course for the upper level riders to showcase their horses and introduce them, and it comes right before the Red Hills International, which is, I believe, our first international competition of our season. So it's absolutely wonderful that it's taken off like this.
Yes, and Chris Barnard is the course designer this year, taking over for Mark Donovan. The fences are set at 1.30 meters. And it is always an exciting race against the clock. We're going to take a look at that course now. The time allowed is 89 seconds. We will have everyone going in a team format, and then the top 10 after the first round, or everyone who jumps clear, will come back for the jump off, Kathy. It's going to be exciting.
Exactly, and we're just having a look at some of the jumps there. You have the Equijet Oxer, which is, got to look at my map here. That's okay. It's all good. Now this triple bar, we'll talk at the course, but that's quite a difficult fence off the turn, and then you have a related distance to quite an upright Worldly Martin vertical. We have the Buckeye Nutrition Oxer. You can see that that's the next to the last fence, and so that's fine. Well, we can wing it. It's all good. There's our Worldly Martin vertical on planks, and that's harder to jump. Then we have the Peak Performance Oxer, I believe, over Liverpool. So the Liverpool makes it obviously a little bit more difficult. And then, of course, our title sponsor, Ocala Horse Properties, is B element of the triple combination. And so that, no, sorry, the last double. Okay, great. That was a little difficult.
So you see here.
There, he's doing it now.
So this is just a brief exhibition taking place in the arena.
Exactly.
We will be kicking off at 2 o'clock, so about 15 minutes still until we actually kick off this Eventing Prix Invitational. As we said, Chris Barnard is the course designer, one of our top course designers we have in this country, and it's so valuable for these horses and riders to be able to jump over a track of this height with course design of this caliber, Kathy.
Yeah, and it's down to the inch as far as how these guys set the distances, how the jumps are set off of turns, right turns, left turns, triple combinations, double combinations, where they are in the arena. That 12AB is jumping right into the crowd, so that could have an effect. You've got the last fence actually, and fence number 1 jumping right into the Jumbotron, so great atmosphere for these horses to be able to practice over, and riders.
It definitely is, and like you said, Kathy, we have Red Hills International Horse Trials coming up this weekend in Tallahassee, so this is a super opportunity to be able to get in the ring, maybe knock some of that winter rust off. This will be a great preparation as these horses and riders go forward to really what's going to be the biggest competition we've had so far this season at Red Hills.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good to see you. Knowing the rest of the heart rate levels can come by injury, illness, and all one traits of heart rate benefit from understanding the impact of the blood load.
So you see here we have this demonstration going with Hilo Fit. So we have this horse and rider hooked up to this heart rate monitor. Hilo Fit, one of the sponsors of this Eventing Prix Invitational, and this is one of the newest heart rate monitors on the market, Kathy.
You know, I used earlier in my career, I used them, and it's just amazing to me how quickly the horse's heart rate drops once they're through exercising. It's just amazing.
So you see that's what we have here. This is a live demonstration using the Hilo Fit system, and what's cool about Hilo Fit is it tracks both horse and rider heart rate,
which I'm sure is shocking to some people.
stuff on this mic? Yeah. On the wireless one? No, I can turn it down on the arena if you want. That's for the broadcast. Yeah. Is that muted or is that?
Right, or do you want me to just give this to Jenny?
No, this one.
Because I've just read it all out here seconds ago.
I can turn it down on the arena. This is for the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could run through it now.
HiloFit is dedicated to helping trainers and owners improve the overall health and fitness of their horses through measurable data and actionable insights. Heart rate acts as the voice of the horse, providing critical information for a quicker understanding of what is actually going on, be it intense workload or stress, which then leads to a more effective response. Every horse is different, and even a lifetime of experience can't always provide all the answers to become the best possible advocate for your horse. Using HiloFit to monitor equine heart rate can help eliminate some of the guesswork and reinforce natural instincts when training. The HiloFit system is comprised of 4 hardware components: an app for the Apple system or Android, and an optional app for the Apple Watch. At its core, HiloFit is a heart rate monitor for the horse and rider. There's a girth attachment, which is a slim device resting underneath the girth on the left side of the horse. There are 2 electrodes on the girth attachment and a transmitter that snaps in. The electrodes measure the horse's heart rate, and the transmitter sends the heart rate information to the rider's phone via a Bluetooth connection. HiloFit's unique features include real-time feedback and post-ride insights for both athletes, as well as resting heart rate calculations, zone training, social sharing, video overlay, calendaring, and more. Whether you're an athlete with Olympic aspirations or an amateur trying to fit in a weekend ride, there are benefits to incorporating heart rate monitoring into your training regimen. Knowing the resting heart rate of your horse can help identify an injury or illness earlier, and the more one trains with heart rate, the better you can understand the impact of workload versus stress and pain. The line between over and under training can be razor thin, and knowing when to push, when to hold back, and when to rest can be critical to building fitness, maximizing performance, and preventing injury.
So you've just been hearing from John Kyle as he's taking us through this HiloFit demonstration, showing us how the technology works in real time. And what's cool is the HiloFit syncs to an app on your phone. So Kathy, you can actually watch your horse's heart rate in real time during your ride.
It's just amazing to me, and to see how the rider's pulse was a little higher, and then the horse caught up once we got going.
Yeah, it's definitely just another way you can get insights into your horse's fitness, especially valuable as you're gearing up for a long format event, for example, and it's something that amateur riders can use as well. It's not just for professionals.
No, and I think more amateurs need to learn about it.
Yes, definitely.
It was a big thing a few years ago, and I'm glad it's coming back. It's awesome.
So we are counting down to the start of this $20,000 class, and this is also the first year we've had $20,000 in prize money, Kathy, which is so exciting.
Absolutely. So let's just get to a few of our sponsors, right? So first of all, Ocala Horse Properties has been dedicated to this event from the inception. They've returned year after year as their title sponsor of our celebrated community event, and we couldn't host this absolutely fabulous day without them. Rob and Chris DeCino, along with Matt Varney and their staff, have cultivated the top equestrian-focused real estate company in the country. And you drive anywhere in Ocala, and you see them. It's amazing.
You see their smiling faces.
We do, yep, exactly. They're widely known for their exceptional relationship skills and are capable of finding the perfect home or farm at every budget level. We're truly grateful for their continued support.
As you can see, we got corner of the big screen, and it goes full screen every single as well.
We're just having a fun look at watching her just cruise around over some of these jumps. I'm watching the horse's heart rate go higher now than the riders. It's quite fascinating. Our presenting sponsor, Lightspeed Equestrian, is a new supporter of the Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix, and we're thrilled to have them on board. LSE is a premier sales, training, and boarding facility located in Ocala. They hand-select horses from the UK and Ireland with the young rider and adult amateur in mind, and that is crucial. Their primary goal is matching the right horse with the right rider within their skill level and budget.
And of course, we also have Worldly Martin Equestrian as a key sponsor of this event, and you can see this beautiful footing, which gives us such a fantastic surface for the horses to jump off of.
So Sharn actually founded this company, Sharn Worldly and Craig Martin, and there are several other rings in the region that they've built for Will Coleman, Liz Halliday Sharp, Clayton Fredericks, and a bunch more. And it's just an amazing footing to ride on, and the horses are sounder and better because of it.
So just 5 minutes now to go until we kick off this meter 30 class. You're watching a high-low fit demonstration. If you are just tuning in, we are delighted to have you.
So we have a individual competition, but also a team competition here, right, Jenny?
Yes.
Yeah, and some of the team names are quite interesting. The Maple Stirrups, they must be from Canada.
Yes.
Buck Off Cancer, that's in support of cancer. Team Great Britainish, we'll have to see who the team members are there, because I have a feeling there might be one or two that aren't from Great Britain.
GB-ish, yes. Yes, and Team Buck Off Cancer supporting fellow event rider Jess Halliday.
That's right.
Those of you who event up in Area 1 will know her very well. She is bravely fighting her battle against cancer, and she's here today at the show, which is awesome to have her here. And she's selling her Buck Off Cancer swag, which you can also buy online. And those proceeds go to help her with her medical bills. And it's just fabulous to see these riders on her team riding in support of her. And all of those prize winnings today are going to be donated to Jess and her medical fund. And that is Jenny Brannigan with Ibella, Hannah Sue Burnett and Luke Swell, Lynn Szymanski and Under Suspicion, and Catherine Coleman and Billy Bandit. So that is Team Buck Off Cancer. And I can't help but think we have to maybe cheer a little louder for them, since
Absolutely.
those prize money
That's
winnings
right.
would go to Jess's cause. But you're right. A lot of exciting teams. Team GB-ish is Justine Dutton, who is British.
Exactly.
Liz Halliday Sharp, who's based in Britain for 6 months out of the year.
Right, yep.
Leslie Law, of course, Athens gold medalist. And Clark Montgomery, who has, well, he did live in the UK
for a while.
years.
That's right, yep, he did.
So that's Team GB-ish. We also have Team Unstable, who are the defending champions, having won now multiple years in a row. So that's Joe Meyer and a Sportsfield Diamond, Sharon White and Cooley Show, Sarah Cosmplick-Murphy and Rubens Desue, who of course have been the individual winners previously as well, and Bobby Meyerhoff and Fortuna. And then, like you said, Kathy, the Maple Stirrups, that is the Canadian team. That's Selena O'Hanlon and E. Lupicore, Dana Cook and F.E. Stiff Upper Lip, Jessica Phoenix and Bentley's Best, and Carl Slazak and Fernhill Wishes. Then we have Team West Coast, Natalia Nieneman and Electric Lux, Tammy Smith and Cam Balda, which is fun to see those two partnered together.
That's so cool.
Kristen Bond and I'm So Ready, and Allie Knowles and Miss Poppins. Then Team Blacklist, Lauren Kiefer and her World Equestrian Games partner Vermiculus, Will Coleman and TKS Cooley, Buck Davidson and Errol Goby, and Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF. And then we have the Young Guns.
Watch out for them.
Yes, all riders who are on the under 25 program for the United States Equestrian Federation. So it's Hallie Kuhn with Cooley SOS, Alyssa Phillips and Oscar, Caroline Martin and Islandwood Captain Jack, and Jacob Fletcher with Atlantic Domino. Then we have the wild card team, Kurt Martin and Captain Chaco. They were a last-minute substitution yesterday, so we're excited that Kurt's going to be joining us. Colleen Rutledge with See Me Fly, Autumn Schweiss and Global AKD Corleen, and Ashlyn Dorsey with Staccato. And then we do have 3 individual riders as well, Cornelia Dorr with Daytona Beach, Charlotte Collier and Clifford M, and Mia Farley and BGS Firecracker. Those are your 35 horse and rider combinations who will be coming forward to jump. See there, Jessica Phoenix with Bentley's Best.
Yep.
She's going to be our first to go.
She'll be the trailblazer. I think we're going to have the national anthem here. I see the flag.
So many people watching.
right. I love the way Scott has his flag mounted on the tree in the island in the middle of his arena.
Definitely. Well, that is the national anthem to officially kick off this competition here at the $20,000 Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. 35 horses and riders coming forward to take on Chris Barnard's meter 30 track. And you see here, this is the first in the arena. Jessica Phoenix and Bentley's Best representing Canada, riding for Team Maple Stirrups.
So as you can see, she's given her horse a little tour of the ring, let him see the atmosphere. As they start this course, it is timed. There's a countdown on the clock. They have 45 seconds maybe to start the track, and then as soon as they cross the start line, their time starts.
And the time allowed is 89 seconds, so we'll be watching that very closely. We talked about horses and riders using this competition to prepare for Red Hills. This is one of them, going for the 3-star short at the weekend.
A little cluck there to get over that Liverpool, but it's looking good.
This is a 12-year-old chicaner gelding owned by the Bentley's Best Group. Beautiful jump there over that triple bar.
That line walk just a little tight. Yep.
That's
you
very
be
tough.
Very forward, and then you have a plank. The Worldly Martin planks, and that's a tough question. And you have 2 Liverpools in this course. So just completed fence number 7, the Peak Performance Equine Services vertical, and nicely over the Equijet Oxer. Listening to someone walk the course, they were just saying not to fall in on these turns. This little S curve here with the 8, 9 A, B, C to 10 is quite a difficult combination. Nicely over the Steuben fence. This is the 12 AB that jumps right into the crowd, but nicely done there. We'll have a look at the clock as she comes to the Buckeye fence, and a clean round to throw down the gauntlet right there.
A time of 85 seconds for Jessica Phoenix, comfortably inside the time with Bentley's Best. So right off the bat, we have a clear round, Kathy.
Yeah, so that's great for the riders. Good job, Jessica. You know, go out there and show them it can be done. A lot of times you'll have one fence that comes down a little bit more, becomes what we call a bogey fence. But that was an awesome ride. Very nicely done and very comfortable within the time.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see if it actually turns out to be that easy. That she certainly made it look that way. I don't think it is.
No.
Chris is really testing the riders, asking all the questions. You need to have power over that triple bar, like we said, and then really bounce back to the planks, and that's just one of the tough lines on this course. So now we look to Buck Davidson with Errol Goby for Team Blacklist.
And I love watching Buck because he takes that countdown right to the last second. It makes me nervous every time, but he never doesn't cross the line in time, but he gives his horses a lot of time to see everything, settle them, focus, and then off we go.
Well, this is one of his younger horses at this level, 9 years old this year, Holsteiner gelding, owned by Natalie Sandler, Lisa Darden, and Carl and Cassie Siegel. So you have to think, Kathy, that he might be using this as more of a schooling round for the horse.
Exactly.
But so valuable to get into the arena to look like this.
Yeah.
This horse is level just having stepped up last year, and of course all the star levels have shifted up, Kathy. So
yeah,
we'll
they have.
Using the new lingo, so
I'm working on that. Yeah.
So when I say he did his first Fair Hill 4-star last fall, that means the 3-star level is now 4-star, and everything is shifted up.
Exactly, and that's just messing with me a little bit. I'm getting there. I was way too long doing it 2, 3, and 4, and now I'm 4, 5, and no 6. No, I'm teasing. And he's having a nice round.
Yeah, 2 Liverpools, a lot of fences that coming back towards the crowd and into the VIP tent, so it's quite spooky.
Yeah.
Definitely plenty for the horses to look at. It's also quite chilly today, so horses are on their toes.
A little fresh. This one's very important that you can sort of come back at it and not slice the turn. Otherwise, you're kind of jumping right into the fence of the arena. And again, he's making the time look easy. He's just kind of cruising around to the last fence and did it.
So comfortably crossing the finish inside that time allowed of 89 seconds.
Faster than Jess. Yeah.
So 2 clear rounds right off the bounce, Kathy.
Yep. We're going to see. We've had 2 very professional, experienced riders come in here first, though.
Yes,
Not that
definitely.
not all of them aren't, but
The next to jump will be Jenny Brannigan aboard Tim and Nina Gardner's Bella, and she is riding for Team Buck Off Cancer. All of the prize winnings that their team might win today will be donated to Jess Halliday and her medical bills as she bravely fights cancer. And this mare's had a full and had a lighter competition season over the last couple seasons, so super to see her coming out looking so well this year.
exactly. Yep.
She was at the Aiken Showcase over the weekend.
And she's got a clean pair of heels. Very good jumper.
Yeah, she's a Dutch warm blood Holsteiner cross by Indoctro, and just an unbelievable jumping machine of a horse.
Allergic to wood, as we
Yes,
said, right?
yes. And Jenny is also a past winner of this event. And we also have Will Coleman, last year's defending winner, who will
Exactly.
be coming later in
Yep.
the order of go. So a number of past winners here.
Making light work of this course. Maybe a little tad strong there. I've got it. That fence number 8, 9, ABC. 10 is a little bit tricky in my opinion because it's just a gate and it's a black gate and it's like a black fence. Horses don't jump out over black fences, so they have to be quite brave there. Well, there you go. 3 in a row.
3 in a row, clear and inside that time allowed of 89 seconds. Here's the thing, Kathy. Like you said, we have this very experienced combination starting us out.
Yep.
So what we don't want is this to lull the rest of the competitors into a false sense of security.
They made it look so easy.
Because it's definitely not, and we
87, thank you. We've just been corrected by Chris.
Okay.
87.
Chris Barnard has just poked his head into our booth and said that the time has been adjusted to 87.
Yeah, because what they'll do is they'll run 3 horses and take an assessment of what they did the time in, and then they will make adjustments accordingly.
Yes.
So they have lowered it for, based on our map, they've lowered it 2 seconds.
So we now look to Clark Montgomery and Caribbean Soul riding for Team GB-ish. This is a 12-year-old thoroughbred mare owned by the Caribbean Soul Syndicate.
Clark's been dabbling in the Grand Prix show jumping and doing quite well, so
Yes.
that's kind of fun to see him there.
Yes, doing a lot of show jumping
Yeah.
and hits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a huge fan of this mare, as am I. He said it's fantastic to be sitting on such a galloping machine.
Exactly. I watched her go cross country at the last event. She was pretty impressive.
Definitely a spicy chestnut mare.
I know those. I rode a good one for a long time. They are special.
So after fence 2, it's this sweeping rollback turn to the vertical at fence 3, and then turning right to this first Liverpool.
Gave that a little rub behind, but and then it's just watching them come around the turn. You'd like to get a really nice, deep, powerful distance to this Liverpool, so that, and then you had to just take a little bit of a tug there, say, hang on, Spicy.
And it's just you have to get that compact 5 strides back so that they can have plenty of room to respect those planks.
Because the planks will slide off a little easier because they're on flat cups. It's a rule that they have to be on flat cups. So it's a little easier to knock a plank down unless you give it a lot of air. Oh, and there we just had one down.
So that is our first rail to fall of the competition thus
so
far.
4 faults for a rail down. Oh, and another one.
The second falls.
coming around to the last. Just got a little, I don't want to say untidy behind, but just got a little quick over those two.
So 2 fall for Clark Montgomery and Caribbean Soul. That will add 2 rails to Team GB-ish. And Kurt Martin will be next to go with Shannon Baker's Captain Chaco. Kurt was a late minute sub-in yesterday. Great to have him joining us at the competition. Riding for Team Wildcard. This is an 8-year-old gelding, so one of the younger horses that we have.
Yep.
An Oldenburg by Chaco Blue out of a Kerrygold mare. Definitely bred to jump.
Definitely bred to jump.
Next to go.
And it's fantastic to have the opportunity to be able to get a younger horse like this into this type of an atmosphere and get that experience.
You hear us talk about atmosphere a lot, but for most of us, our what I call our prep competitions to go to a Red Hills or a Kentucky or one of the major FEI competitions, we don't have crowds, we don't have the atmosphere that we're talking about, and it can affect the horses and the riders as far as focus, and so it's just, like I said, just a fantastic opportunity. That's got to be the best distance I've seen all day to that triple bar. And then he was just easy to the planks.
When we talk about getting a deep distance, it's really getting the horse up to the base of the jump so that they can jump around it.
Go higher.
Yes.
Horses are essentially high jumpers, not long jumpers. So the closer you can get, the more power they have to go higher.
So just touching that pole there, but it stays in the cups at fence 8.
Just got to square this turn a little bit. He was cross cantering, but he got it done. So cross cantering, he wasn't on the true lead. Left in front, right behind, or vice versa. Cannot allow the horse to power off both hind legs. Now,
so
fence 11 has come down 2 times in a row now. So we're not actually in the position to be able to see, but it could be just a little more patience coming around to that Steuben planks, and that's a plank fence too, so a lighter touch can still bring it down versus.
Yes. So also over that time allowed, it has been adjusted to 87 seconds. So the 1 rail falling as well as 2 time penalties to add.
So next with us, Hallie Coon.
Now we look to Hallie Coon with Cooley SOS. We talk about horses for the future. This horse is just unbelievably talented.
Hallie, a 4-star rider. Of course, the Kentucky 3 event is also ridden at the top level at home.
Hallie is ridden on the USCF Eventing 25 program for a number of years and got called up to the real high performance program this year, which is so exciting to be able to have her gaining that experience under.
And it's great that that's the way the program was designed, and it's working. It's really cool.
This horse is 8 years old, an Irish sport horse by Emilian, and just stepped up to do his first long format 3-star last year at the Ocala Jockey Club, finished on his dressage score.
So he is quite young in this.
Yes.
At this level. But he certainly gives them a lot of air, doesn't he?
Yes. He has so much scope, and finds it so easy.
Exactly. So when we talk about giving them air, they jump, maybe a foot higher than they need to. The scope is their ability to do that. And that's what makes these top-notch horses, because they have scope. And they are allergic to wood, as we say. Just gave that C element of the Southern Cross Equestrian Triple a little rub. Oh, and
that gate falls.
The black, it is a gate, but it's a separate rail that can come down if you actually look at the design of it. Ooh, we got a little little bit looking maybe into the crowd. I'm not sure. He just didn't really pick his feet up at all for 12A.
And we talked about how some of these greener horses, that's very spooky jumping back into that VIP
really
tent.
spooky, yep.
So 2 down, but that definitely should not reflect on this horse's ability to jump because he absolutely can, and he's such an exciting one for the future.
So 8 fourths and 8 for the Young Guns team at the moment. The best 3 scores.
Bobby Meyerhoff will be our next to go with Fortuna.
This is the defending champion team, Team Unstable, so.
Definitely an exciting one to watch.
I don't know if I call them Team Unstable since they won. I think I had to change my name for this year.
Bobby and Fortuna have been in international division winners together.
Again, just running down through our sponsors, Equijet, Steuben, NA, Buckeye Nutritionals, Mars Equestrian, Hilo Fit, Joe Meyer Eventing, Guardian Horse Betting, Castro Properties, Doug Hannum Equine Therapy sponsored the Monday welcome class. Brewster Walker Horse Transport gives a Grooms Award and beer stand. And Allison Stello gives a Grooms Award also. So thank you so much to all these sponsors, because without them, this would not be the class competition that it is now.
This is a 9-year-old Dutch warm blood mare owned by Danica, Bobby's fabulous wife.
It's just a
saw a big shot there.
Exactly.
And now he has to really balance back.
But he did, and she did. She's a little bit of a sports car compared to some of the others we've seen. Yeah, definitely. A little smaller, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have springs, and she does.
No, she's very nippy and cat-like, and you can see he just guns it out of that turn,
yeah,
but she's
I know.
so
I was like,
scopy.
Whoa, amazing. Okay, we come around to this. Oh, he took a really wide turn to that. And that seems to be good so far, and I think this might be one of the fastest rounds of the day.
He's wasting no time.
No time. That has got to be, that is by 3 or 4 seconds fastest round of the day.
So all clear for Bobby Meyerhoff and Fortuna. That is going to be one to watch with the jump off for sure, because this mare has speed. Wow. So that is a clear round for Team Unstable. They are the defending team champions. Natalia, throwing down the gauntlet, absolutely. Natalia Nienamin will be next to join us with Electric Lux. This is Team West Coast's first rider into the ring.
We'd also just like to bring attention to the charitable groups that are here today. So if you're here and watching, please stop by and say hi to the horses and heroes of Marion County. Horse Farms Forever, and of course Buck Off Cancer. We also a special thank you to EN and Sideline News, right? Eventing Nation and Sideline News for their coverage.
And we have to thank all of you at home for watching the broadcast of this $20,000 Eventing Prix Invitational. This is a 9-year-old Irish sport horse mare owned by the Electric Lux Group, formerly produced by JP Sheffield. And now an exciting ride for Natalia.
Nice. You might hear me counting under my breath. There's, you know, again, the course designer has set certain lines and certain distances, and it can be a foot difference long, a foot difference short, and that's going to make a difference with how you ride the line based on how you jumped into the line. Just kind of little, what we would call the Braille method through there, but they all stayed up.
Yes. So all clear so far. She makes her way around to this in and out combination. And that's a good shot there that shows jumping back into that tent.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, you've got the vertical to the oxer in, which lets you come down the line, and then you can just kind of wait to come out over that vertical, and it seems to be working very well.
So comfortably inside that time allowed of 87 seconds.
And isn't it just interesting watching the previous rider who looked like they were going fast?
Yes.
And she didn't, and they're almost on exactly the same time. Well, she's faster because she's ranked first. So there you go.
So clear rounds aplenty thus far. We already have the stage set for an exciting jump off.
We do.
Now we look to Charlotte Collier and Clifford M, one of the individual combinations in this competition. Charlotte also rider on the USEF Eventing 25 program. And as I'm sure you can tell, loves pink.
Loves pink.
This horse is owned by a syndicate called the Power of Pink, which I love. He's 13 years old this year, Holsteiner gelding.
Oh, yeah, he just was a little bit, almost looked like he hesitated off the ground there at fence 2.
So
that's the first time we've seen that come down. And that can affect the riders mentally a little bit if they have a rail early in the course, depending on their degree of maturity. You'll see some of these horses, as this one has the what we call a flare nasal strip, that helps them with their breathing. They're getting quite colorful these days.
Yes.
They used to be just plain white or plain black. Now you can get them polka dotted, I think. And it's just like wearing a breathe right strip for humans. It helps open up the airways. And oh, and just got a little what we would call flat coming out of the C element of the triple. The jumps where they have to do 2 or 3 in a row are much more of a test, because they have to land in balance and rock right back on their rear ends and hind legs and go higher again. And sometimes it catches up with you, especially the keen ones. And so that one would say what got a little flat coming out of the triple.
So that's 2 down for Charlotte Collier and Clifford M, riding as individuals. So we have gone through the first round of rotations for the team competition.
So we're starting
back with Team Maple Stirrups now.
Right.
This is Dana Cook with FE Stiff Upper Lip.
I love that name.
Yes.
Dana took a top 5 in an international.
This is the Canadian team. My goodness.
Got a little bit to the left and a little really kicks those heels up.
He's very tidy with his hind end. This is a 10-year-old Württemberger gelding owned by Kingfisher Park. Some jumper.
Yeah. I think the first fence kind of surprised him a little because he was just a little, I haven't seen anybody kind of get a little bit to the left there, but now he's in the groove. Nicely ridden. It hurts my back to watch him jump the way he cracks his run. Very nicely over the Liverpool. A lot of horses are doing that turn and bending line in 6, but that one did it in 7, just hung out a little bit. Oh, just got a little bit close to the black plank over there.
And that's fence 10. We've seen that coming down.
Exactly, yep. But sorted it for the Steuben fence. Coming around to the last. Nicely done.
So just the one fence down for Dana Cook and FE Stiff Upper Lip. Still inside that time allowed easily of 87 seconds. So we're really not seeing the clock prove to be as much of a factor, Kathy.
No, we're not. And But when they pick how many come back for the jump off, it does have to do with how fast they went.
Yes.
They're not going to bring, in a normal jumping competition, they would bring everyone back that is jumped a clean round.
Yes. So it'll be the 10, either all clears, or if there are more than 10, then it will be the 10 fastest.
10 fastest, that's right.
Now we look to Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF, riding for Team Blacklist. This is a 12-year-old Irish sport horse gelding owned by the Blossom Creek Foundation. Bob and Valerie Fish have been such fabulous supporters of Matt.
Just giving him a little bit, another look at the VIP tent before he had to jump down towards it. Just love to watch these such good riders with such a good eye. They know exactly where they are in front of the fences, which we all strive. Came nicely forward, but had to just hold him off that Charlie Wardley Martin vertical a little bit, but all good. And he stayed out, what we say stayed out in the 7 there too. And then 8 to the black gate, nicely over the Steuben fence. And again, that oxer, horses land shorter off of oxers than they do verticals, so the oxer in for that combination is actually quite kind.
All clear from Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF, and fastest so far.
Fastest so far by hundredths of a second or so.
That is also the second clear round for Team Blacklist, so they are making their intentions known right off the bat.
They are making very much so.
Now we look to Catherine Coleman with Billy Bandit. This is an 11-year-old Anglo-European gelding owned by KC Eventing.
So Catherine Coleman is our next
Previously produced by Flora Harris in Great Britain.
This is the second ride of Cancer, and will bring us up to our first drive.
He won the 3-star short at Carolina International last year, and just stepped up to do his first 4-star short format at the Ocala Jockey Club last fall. Finished 7th. Definitely.
Which is now going to be the 5-star, right? Are you speaking?
I'm speaking new
terms.
lingo.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Former, he did his first CIC 3-star,
gotcha.
Or what is now 4-star short.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm confusing everyone out there. No.
It's one of those things where your brain has known it one way for so long.
For so long. We'll get there.
Catherine has a number of exciting up-and-coming horses
She
right
does.
now. This is definitely one of them. Saw a great shot in there.
You just got to keep them coming forward around the turn here. So you can get that type of jump over the triple bar, which then lets them land more in control. If you stand a little bit too far off, the horse really has to stretch, and then it has a little bit more work for both the rider and the horse to get them back to jump those planks. She saw that out of the turn, didn't she?
She fired him into that.
No, she just maybe a hair, yeah, just got a little bit backwards, unfortunately. So, as we say, she came out of the turn and really saw a good shot to the Equijet fence, and then had to just bring him back a little bit too much to get into that triple. Ooh.
Got away with it there.
She did, boy, that rolled a little bit, but it stayed in the cups. All right, well done. So, one rail.
One to add for Catherine Coleman and Billy Bandit. That is for Team Buck Off Cancer. And that brings us to the first of our drag breaks, keeping this footing in top condition.
So that's paramount here, is that they
So we have 6 clear rounds in this first section. Already an exciting jump off. The stage is set, but based on the number of clear rounds that are coming in, Kathy, this is going to be a race against the clock.
It is going to be a race against the clock.
Your time is going to matter in this first round because, again, if there are more than 10 clear rounds, which at this point we expect that there will be, then it means the 10 fastest are the ones who will go forward to that jump off.
Exactly.
So we have a 10-minute break. We're going to take a look at our sponsors who are bringing you this broadcast.
Based on their time.
Welcome back to the Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. There is $20,000 in prize money on the line in this meter 30 show jumping competition. I'm Jenny Autry, bringing you all the action alongside Kathy Wieshoff.
We're having a good time here this afternoon. The sun could be shining a little bit more here in Florida, but we are not complaining.
No, we definitely aren't. If you're just joining us, we've had 6 jump clear so far in the first group. So what that means is we are going to be now looking much more closely at the clock because only the 10 fastest rounds will come back for the jump off.
Exactly, and that's one of the disadvantages of having to go first. And I'm not sure, and we're going to see these riders start to ride against the clock a little bit more, risking a possible rail, because now there's only 4 slots left, and we're only on horse number 13.
Yes, this is Justine Dutton with MGH Heartbeat for Team GB-ish, looking to become clear round number 7. This is an 8-year-old Irish sport horse mare. She owns along with Chris Barnard, our fabulous course designer.
Rode that triple bar fabulously. So Chris has designed quite a good course here with related distances, jumping into the crowd, a lot of the pomp and circumstance that we don't get to compete our horses in. And that's why this is such a fabulous competition, to have a true testing show jumping route with atmosphere for these riders and horses to experience. And as we said, their next competition for most of them is going to be the first international competition of the year at Red Hills International up in Tallahassee.
And this is a pair who are prepping here at this show, going to do 3-star short at Red Hills. And that is going to rank them 4th currently with that clear round in a time allowed of 81.85 seconds. So the clock is going to be all important now, Kathy.
It is. It definitely is now. And you're going to see, you know, horses and riders, like I said, they're going to take a shot, leaving a stride out, making a turn a little tighter, trying to get into that jump off.
Ashlyn Dorsey is our next to go with Staccato 2. This is a pair we typically see on the West Coast, so fabulous to have them joining us on the East Coast for this competition. This is a 10-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by Marcel Dorsey.
So when that bell rings, they have 45 seconds to cross the start line. So you'll see that clock counting down, the riders check it, but they usually have a pattern that they go through depending on their horse. Do they want the horse to see the Liverpool? Do they want to see the green fence, whatever, that they think their horses might have a spook at? And they'll usually give them a tour, let them have a look, and then get started. Nice, you know, the first fence is a nice, it's not anywhere near as big as which it shouldn't be, and a nice ascending oxer. And then you have 2 verticals.
Rubbing that triple bar,
just
but it
a
stays
little
in the cups.
Yep.
She's riding for Team Wildcard.
And you know, that Liverpool, that's the first time that fence has come down, and where those Liverpools are placed under the fences also make a big difference as to how they're jumped. So the first time they see the Liverpool, it's an oxer, so it's flush with the ground line, but then they have the Liverpool that sticks out the back of the Peak Performance Equine Services jump number 7, and the horses can give it a little peek looking through the bottom rails, and I think that horse did there because that's the first time that fence has come down today. And that 12AB jumping into the crowd is a true test.
And that's been riding really well.
It has
Better
been riding
than I thought.
fabulously. Yeah, well, I think it's only come down once, and that was the front part of the inn, as we say.
So 4 to add for Ashlyn Dorsey and Staccato 2 for Team Wildcard. And they already had 2 rails down in one of their previous rounds, so that means that they are going to be carrying jumping penalties. The question is how many? We are making our way through this list of 35 combinations in all to take on Chris Barnard's meter 30 track. Next to go will be Jacob Fletcher riding for Team Young Guns. This horse, Atlantic Domino, is a 14-year-old Irish sport horse gelding.
They've had quite a partnership together, haven't they?
They really have.
Yep.
Competed overseas at Tattersall's, Blair Castle, Blenheim. Getting that international experience is so valuable when we talk about riders like Jacob, who are hoping to one day represent the U.S. on the world stage. Part of the Eventing 25 program for emerging athletes. And Jacob and Domino have jumped at this show before, so he knows what it takes.
Yep.
To deliver a clear round over a track like this.
And that's experience too, as far as being in the same arena, because this is a unusually shaped arena with a nice tree, and it's beautiful with the tree and the island in the middle, but it does help that you have had some experience jumping in the arena.
And it is quite a big arena, so you can really waste time in those turns if you're not really being strategic about your lines and mindful of that. And as we are seeing that the clock is ultimately what's going to determine those 10 who come back for the jump off, that's very important. You cannot waste any time in those turns. You have to be efficient in your plan and execute it, which is exactly what Jacob is doing.
And he is just slightly angled. Ooh, he got away with that just a little bit, in my opinion, but it's all good. He's humming now. He's going to bring it.
This is looking very fast.
Still not quite enough, but it'll get him up there, fourth. So
81.45, that ranks him fourth.
Yep.
Currently. So a clear round for the Young Guns. This is going to start to get really exciting, Kathy, because everyone's going to know Jacob definitely wasn't wasting any time, and he still is only ranked fourth currently.
Exactly. That's
right.
So
we're going to start to see some faster rounds.
I felt like he just came a little bit wide around to the Equijet fence, but he was also setting up for the triple, and he knows his horse. So
definitely.
And at the end of the day, if you're good enough to get in the top 10, then you can drop the hammer.
Yes. I want to see some slicing and dicing.
Well, I think we will.
Sharon White is next to go for Team Unstable. That is the team that is defending the win. They've won for the last 2 years in a row. She's riding Cooley on Show. This is a 12-year-old Irish sport horse gelding.
Amazing horse.
She owns with George White. Oh my goodness, he's unbelievable.
You know, quite kind of the first part of the course, 1 to 2 to get you going, and almost even 3, and then it starts to get a little meatier.
Yes. Louis, as he's known to his friends, has such a formidable partnership now with Sharon. They've known each other for a long time. She's produced him so beautifully.
Yes, she has.
Gone around Kentucky twice and finished in the top 10 last year.
Yep.
So one of the top horses that we have in this country.
Quite a rollback to that Liverpool, but let's see what line she takes here. See, she was 1 stride inside Jacob. And then she did the 6 instead of the 7 to the triple. And again, you take out 1 stride, that's a second or 2.
Exactly. Those are the types of decisions that you have to make if you really want to challenge these faster rounds.
Yes.
So she's definitely showing that she intends to waste no time.
Now she needs to go a bit. And she did.
So 81.65 on the clock, breaks her 5th.
Yep.
That is yet another clear round for Team Unstable. So once again, showing that they are dominant and they intend to defend that title.
They definitely do. Just a quick mention of one of our sponsors, Stellos Electric, a New Hampshire-based company that the Stellos family have also been longtime supporters of this competition. They return year after year to sponsor our great event, and this year they've also sponsored the $1,500 towards one of the Grooms Awards. Thank you again to Stellos Electric.
Yes, fabulous community support for this show, which has really come to be one of our favorite early competitions in the season.
Yep.
Max Corcoran and Scotty Keach do such a great job of running it and putting it on. Now you look to Kristen Bond and I'm So Ready, our next to jump, representing the West Coast team. And this pair has been reunited after Philip Dutton had the
Exactly.
ride for
Yep,
the last
yep.
few years. So great to see them back together.
You can just see her showing her those Liverpools. I think there might be a little bit of a spook there. Sometimes when they spook, they go higher, and sometimes they don't.
Yes. So she's taking advantage of
A
that
little
time
tour.
to show him. Taking a little tour with Jackson, as he's known at home. This is a 15-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding owned by John and Christine Norton.
A little skip there to start the round. Yeah, you can't waste your time on the ends, so to speak. Well, it did go higher.
Yes.
You'll find these riders looking really early. That's the key to success. 5. Nicely done. You can't land with your head down. You got to land looking where you're going next, because all these jumps come up pretty quickly. Like I said, 1 and 2, 1, 2 to 3 is quite kind, but then you're turning and jumping and turning and jumping. She's going to do the 7. Ooh, God, just a lucky there.
So working her way around on a clear round. Just tapping those Steuben planks, but they stay up.
Ooh, just got a little flat in that 5 strides down, unfortunately.
Fortunately, that rail falls at 12A.
Make the same mistake again at 13, but it was easier coming off the turn. That plank and 5 strides, that combination into the crowd is one of the testing questions on this course.
So 4 to add for Kristen Bond and I'm So Ready. Now we look to Cornelia Dorr with Daytona Beach 8, riding as individuals. This is an exciting new ride for Cornelia. This 9-year-old Oldenburg mare was produced up to the 4-star short level.
Just having a little opinionated.
Yeah, a little
there.
opinionated. Yes, this is a former ride of Sandra Offert, and Sandra competed this mare in Germany through the end of last season. So this is definitely a new partnership.
A new partnership here.
But again, as we've said, Kathy, how invaluable for her to be able to come and have this opportunity to jump a meter 30 track like this, get to know the horse.
Just as we say, putting money in the bank, gathering information, just learning. What this horse is going to act and react like. And so she just ran up, as I would say, ran up underneath a little bit. The first fence asked her for a little bit of a brave distance, but now she seems to have settled. Oh my gosh, she gives it all kinds of air, doesn't she? You could have thrown, my mom would say, a cat and a litter of kittens between her and the jump.
Well, I mean, such an athletic stamp-up horse, sailing over that triple bar.
4, and then just so careful, though.
She's by Duke of Hearts, the fabulous thoroughbred stallion, and I think you can see how much blood she has in her.
Yes.
Definitely looks it, that type.
She's just a little, I'm wanting to say she's a little spooky with the crowds almost, just as she came around that turn. A little bit of a shy, which caused her not to be focused on the Equijet Oxer.
And the sun's just started to peek out from behind the clouds, so that can shift shadows as well.
Yep. Well, that certainly is a very talented horse. And
definitely.
The more time they spend together, the better that combination is going to get for sure.
Yes, definitely an exciting combination to watch for the future. 4 to add here for Cornelia Dorr and her new ride, Daytona Beach 8. Now we look to Selena O'Hanlon and Foxwood High for Team Maple Stirrups.
This is a very seasoned combination here.
Yes, this horse is 16 years old now, Canadian sport horse owned by John and Judy Rumble, who've been such fabulous supporters of Selena. And they've represented Canada at the World Equestrian Games and made the trip of a lifetime to badminton last year and are going back this year, which is so
awesome.
exciting. And Canada recently released their national team squad, and this is one of the combinations named to that top squad.
Such a class horse. As I recall, he wasn't always super great in the show jumping. He just keeps getting better and better. And
She's
better.
really worked hard with Jonathan Miller, son of the great Ian Miller, Canadian show jumping legend, and she's just buckled down and chipped away at it, and it's gotten so much better. It's just a real hallmark of how hard she's worked.
Yeah. That's the question with these horses. Just a 3-day. Got to be able to do all 3 phases.
Now, she would typically say that she would sacrifice time faults to get a clear round.
That's right. Yep.
But on a day like today, you really can't do that.
Yes and no. Then you've really got to say, what am I trying to do here? Am I able to?
So clear as she comes around to the last, but we are watching that clock.
Watching that clock. She's just going to be over the time. Ranked 10th, though.
So she does add time penalties.
Yep.
So that is going to put her on the bubble currently.
Yes,
because only our 10 fastest clear rounds are going to go through to the show jumping. She is in the jump off as of right now, but we still have 15 more combinations to jump, Kathy.
That's right. So somehow I have a feeling we might not see her, but she should be absolutely over the moon with how well you jumped in that.
Well, that's going to be super preparation for Red Hills.
For Red Hills, exactly. Like I said, sometimes you got to weigh.
Exactly. You might have a different goal for the day.
You might have a different goal for the day, yep. And that's perfectly fine.
So next to go will be Lauren Kiefer and Vermiculus representing Team Blacklist. This is her World Equestrian Games partner, 12-year-old Anglo-Arabian gelding owned by Jacqueline Mars. We also saw this pair competing in the Grand Prix Eventing Showcase at Aiken last weekend. This horse is a full brother to her first 5-star partner, Snooze Alarm, and unfortunate to have that first fall.
First rail.
So Team Blacklist had delivered 2 clear rounds prior to this.
Right,
so this would go as the drop score currently for that team.
Yep.
And a second rail falling there.
Coming around to this other Liverpool. Just not giving them a lot of air at the moment. Better. She did that in the 7, which I think is better.
So carrying those 2 rails, this is going to be the drop score as of right now for Team Blacklist.
They hope it's going to be the drop score.
Yes.
She's just taking her time now. Nicely done.
So 2 to add for Lauren Kiefer and Vermiculus for Team Blacklist.
8 points then for Lauren Kiefer and Vermiculus for the Blacklist team. That is giving them the opportunity to finish on clear evidence on Canada and Will Coleman at TDS.
Next to go will be Lynn Szymanski with Under Suspension. 15-year-old Holsteiner mare owned by Marianne Gadbin. And this is another rider representing the Buck-Off Cancer Team, who are going to donate any of their winnings today in support of Jess Halliday and her courageous battle against cancer.
She's just having a little bit of a tour. She's going to get started. It's a little bit of a trick, 1 to 2, because it's related, but it's not related. David always says if it's any more than 6 strides, it's harder to do. Like if it's an 8 or a 9, you kind of lose your count. You see her going for it. You know, the land and go forward, especially coming off that Liverpool. You got plenty of time to set up for this. We might do this in 4. She says nope. A little bit of a discussion there.
Yes, a little bit of a negotiation. But you can tell that Lynn's picked up the pace in comparison to some of the rounds that we've seen in these last few riders, and this is what you have to do.
Exactly.
We have 10 clear rounds already at this point.
Yep.
Only the 10 fastest will go through to the jump off. So this first round is what's going to determine the team results.
Right.
The jump off will determine the individual results.
Again, just a little bit of a discussion in front of
that triple combination.
9A, yeah. Ooh, and then she just had 10 down 2. They're not seeming to be exactly on the same page today. We just had the Oxer rail down of 12A.
So 3 coming down for Lynn Szymanski and under suspension. So that will now be their drop score at this point provisionally.
For the Buck-Off Cancer team.
So they will have to carry Catherine Coleman and Billy Bandit's score of 4 faults. So things are getting nail-biting,
a little
Kathy.
bit hot right
yes,
now,
definitely. Leslie Law is next to go with Voltaire Detrey for Team GB-ish. Their team is carrying 1 clear round for Justine Dutton and then 2 rails for Clark Montgomery. So they're gonna want to
keep all the rails in the cups. Yep.
The 2004 individual Olympic gold medalist at the Athens Games. This horse Voltaire Detrey.
Leslie
they haven't rung the bell yet, so that's why he's kind of walking around. Now they've rung the bell.
So now he has 45 seconds to start.
Team GB-ish looking for their second clear. They got clear from Justine
Leslie
Dutton
coaches the emerging athlete program here in the U.S. and represented Great Britain last year in the Nations Cup at Great Meadow and rode on a team for the first time in so many years.
So many years, yep.
Which is really cool to see him back there.
Yep. Well, he just had knee replacement surgery.
Sporting.
Yeah,
back in December he had knee replacement, so he is sporting a new knee.
Yep. No excuses now, Leslie. No. It's all good.
This horse is definitely an exciting one that he's carefully produced to this level. Cell Francais gelding owned by Trey Book. He's coming 10 years old this year. So only just barely starting to scratch the surface at this level of his career.
These horses are, 8, 9, and 10 is young at this level.
Very young, yes. He already has 2 long format 4 stars under his belt, having finished in the top 5 at both Jersey Fresh and Ocala Jockey Club last year. So definitely one with talent to burn.
Yep. And quick.
Yes.
Quick with his feet. Just does a stutter step a little bit, like if he's a little close, he's like, I got this. It's fun to watch. All right,
so
there you
all
go.
Clear
so 7th, there you go.
Into 7th in a time of 82.69, so that's what you've got to do. You've got to try to shave every tiny bit of time off.
Yeah.
Because we now officially have 11 clear rounds, so only the 10 fastest are going to go forward.
Do we have the what's the time on the 10th place horse?
So that's Selena O'Hanlon and Foxwood High.
Okay.
They'll now be bumped out.
Gotcha. So the time to beat is what, 80? I mean, the optimum time is 87 for the
Yes, the time allowed is 87 seconds.
But
Selena crossed the finish in 90.31 seconds.
okay.
So she has now been bumped out.
Okay, gotcha.
Next to go is Autumn Schweiss with Global AKD Corleen. This is for the wild card team.
And the people that are setting the tone early and, you know, moving right on down that line from 1 to 2 is also helping set the tone for the rest of the course as far as, ooh, bless her. That's tough. She just got there on a little bit of a half stride. And asked her to be brave, and she said, ooh, I don't think so.
So that refusal will add 4 jumping penalties.
And she's going to take one fence and then withdraw.
So not going to plan for Autumn and AKD Global Corleen today. So unfortunate miscommunication, but she'll go back, do her homework, and figure out what went wrong today.
And you'll see that sometimes in the jumper classes. It doesn't happen actually in eventing as a sport, but if a rider has a problem like that, they'll jump one fence and then excuse themselves.
So now we are down to our final pair to go before this next drag break.
It's moving along quickly here.
It is moving along quickly. Alyssa Phillips and Oscar are next to go. They are riding for the Young Guns team.
Bringing us up to that drag break is going to be Alyssa Phillips. Alyssa with her own Oscar for the Young Guns.
This is a 10-year-old Holsteiner gelding that Alyssa owns.
Young Guns, the 8 balls, Jacob Fletcher back with a PS, still confident with the 0-2.
I like Oscar, even though he doesn't know how to spell his name. Oh, maybe not.
Yes, super jumping horse.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Young Gun team.
These Young Guns are going to have to pull it out. I'm going to show these old people how to do it.
And they're carrying a clear round from Jacob Fletcher and 2 rails for Hallie, which they'd love to drop that.
Exactly.
So Alyssa looking for a clear round here for the Young Guns team.
Nicely ridden.
Yeah, saw a great shot there.
You can see, watch their eyes looking out of the turn. They know right where they are. Again, asking these horses to go deep. They go higher, they land softer, more rideable. And she's given us a classic example of that, where you can be efficient and you don't have to go fast. Because she did that in the 6th. I bet some of these riders that don't have to warm up are watching this round, because this is nice.
And we're watching that clock carefully. 85 seconds is now the time on the bubble. That's Jessica Phoenix and Bentley's best. So if she is faster than 85, she is going to bump Jessica out of that jump off.
But not quite. But still, classy round. Classy round.
Super clear round. It's not going to go forward to the jump off, but it does put a clear round on the cards for the Young Guns. So it does add the one time penalty.
One time penalty, yeah.
And that brings us to the next drag break. So 10 minutes now, we're going to make sure that this Worldly Martin Footen is perfect for the horses and riders. We're going to thank our sponsors who are making this possible, and then we will be back to you in 10 minutes after the drag break for the conclusion of this first round.
And again, we'd like to thank all of the sponsors: Equijet, Steuben NA, Buckeye Nutritionals, Mars Equestrian, Hilo Fit, Joe Meyer Eventing, Guardian Horse Bedding, Castro Properties, Dougie Hannum Equine Therapy, Brewster Walker Horse Transport, and Allison Stello, along with our title sponsors of Ocala Horse Properties, presenting sponsor Lightspeed Equestrian, and the pre-sponsors Worldly Martin Equestrian, Peak Performance Equine Services, and Stellos Electric.
So Don't go too far away. Just a few more minutes and we will bring you the conclusion of this first round.
And a thank you to the jump crew that is putting the jumps, taking the jumps out and putting the jumps back in and picking up all the rails. You're amazing.
Welcome back to the $20,000 Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. We have the final third of our class of 35 horses and riders to jump over this meter 30 Chris Barnard show jumping track. We have had 11 clear rounds so far, and we just confirmed at the break that all clear rounds are going to be coming back for the jump off, so we already have 11 in. It's going to definitely be a slice and dice type of jump off.
For sure. It's going to be much better competition. I mean, again, we thought only the top 10 were coming, the top 10 clear fastest, so we thought that maybe that was affecting how these riders were jumping as the competition has progressed and they see whether the time is easy to get, but now that's a whole new ballgame.
Definitely. So that means Celino, Hanlon, and Foxwood High, they did jump that clear round.
But they had a time fault.
They did.
So time fault doesn't get them back into the jump off.
So still have to be no jumping faults and no time faults to come back forward.
Yeah.
So we are just waiting now for our next to go. It's going to be Joe Meyer with a Sportsfield Diamond jumping for Team Unstable. That is the defending champion team.
2 years in a row they've won it. So we're just waiting for him to come in the arena.
So we get back on the way. The next in for
Here he is.
Unstable is Joe Meyer. Joe Meyer with the champagne certificates as Sportsfield Diamond. Joe, an Olympian 4 years in.
Giving him a little look at the first jump. Their horses and riders are allowed to have a look at the course. They'll give them like a little canter around, kind of guess whether they think their horse might look at a certain fence and maybe show it to them. Once the bell rings, they have 45 seconds to start, so they can still use that time to have a little perusal of the arena, of the crowd, and then they'll get started. They must cross that start line, though, before the end of the 45 seconds. Optimum time for the course today is 87 seconds. It was 89. Horses will do 3 rounds, and then the course designer and the judges will make an assessment as to whether or not they want to adjust the time, and they did do it by 2 seconds. But the time has been quite easy to get. We've only had a couple riders get time faults.
We have 10 clear rounds so far.
Whoa, that was a lucky.
Sticky jump there.
Sticky. But he's got glue in his pants.
This horse is the usual ride of Katie Ruppel, so nice of her to give her friend Joe the ride today.
Just hung up in the air quite a lot on fence number 4 with that Liverpool underneath it. But now he's gotten used to it. The Liverpool on fence 7 is sticking behind the fence, so that makes it even a little bit more difficult to keep the rail in the cup. Oh. A little bit too much of a pull there.
And he's 8 years old this year, so definitely one of the younger horses in the field, and we're just seeing some of that greenness.
So there he will get 4 faults for making a circle. They will get 4 faults for either a refusal, they don't jump the fence, making a circle, crossing the track, and not going directly from one fence to the other, or for knocking down a jump. So now he's got, and obviously with the horse balking at going through the triple, he got quite a few time faults.
So not quite going to plan for Joe Meyer and a Sportsfield Diamond.
But finished up well, so.
Yes, definitely.
That was good.
So adding 4 time faults in addition to the 12 jumping penalties. So that will be the drop score for Team Unstable.
Yeah.
Now we look to Tammy Smith with Cambalda, owned by Tim and Nina Gardner, the longtime partner of Jenny Brannigan, and most recently ridden by her groom, working student, and stable jockey Alexa Lapp.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Tammy is based here on the East Coast last year, but finds her home out on the West Coast, and she rides very generously on behalf of Tim. And
yeah, Tammy's a really, really nice rider, and she's come out from California to join us here and get the ride on this lovely horse.
Yeah, super to have Tammy joining us with this horse, who I think must have a number of fans who are watching.
Exactly.
He's 17 years old this year and looking fabulous.
Yep.
So 10 clear rounds so far. All of them will go forward to the jump off. So we're looking for number 11 now here for Tammy.
Yeah. When they get to the jump off, they'll have a different course, a shorter course, again against the clock. So the fastest clear round will win there.
And unfortunately, that plank falling there.
Yeah. Again, that's just a little bit of a testament to the lack of the partnership, and it's like, oh, maybe I should have tugged a little more, but maybe not too much, which we saw a little bit with Joe. So, but I know she's having fun.
So the second element of that triple combination falling.
That's the first time we've seen that come down.
And also
the black gate over there.
That's fence 10.
That's, I would say, almost that's been the bogey fence.
Definitely has
come down the most at this competition this year. Coming up to the last fence. Nicely done.
So 3 to add for Tammy Smith and Cam Balda for Team Wildcard.
Yeah. Team West Coast Wildcard.
Team Wildcard.
Well, they just keep changing it on the board, so I'm just going to look at you.
No, you're right. That should be for Team West Coast. So then that's going to be the drop score for Team West Coast.
Yeah.
Now we look to Mia Farley and BGS Firecrackers are next to go, jumping as individuals in the competition. This is a 9-year-old Irish sport horse mare who is some freak of a jumper.
Looking forward to watching this. Again, a thank you to our title sponsor, Ocala Horse Properties. They've been here every year, and it's just an awesome support they give this competition. Nicely over the first 2. Just a little slow around the end there for me, but again, now that we know that a clear round is going to get you in the jump off, and you're not actually jumping against the clock right now. You can take the time as long as you freakishly good jumper. Take the time as long as you're under the time. That turn back to that Liverpool is away quote from the end gate. Sometimes that can affect, we've seen that come down a couple times, can affect the horses. Just a little bit being the leader there saying, no, you just better wait a minute for this triple. That's what makes these horses good, but sometimes you got to say, I know what's out there. Listen.
So Mia Farley working on a super clear round with this mare. Just the last to go.
7 seconds, 5. And there you go. Another
All
one.
clear for Mia Farley and BGS Firecracker.
Another one into the jump off.
So now we have 11 going forward to the jump off.
As an individual, that's our 11th best clear round. It's our 11th clear round. So 11 currently coming back.
Again, a shout out to Worldly Martin Equestrian, big supporter of this competition. Their footing is amazing. You can see them taking care of it very well for all these horses. That's why we have so many drag breaks, and we'll have another drag break before we get set for the jump off. And also a shout out to Peak Performance Equine Services, which is an extension of BW Furlong and Associates. And they provide the same level of industry leading veterinary care to clients in Ocala, Florida and Middleburg, Virginia.
Next to go will be Carl Slazak with Fernhill Wishes. This is a 10-year-old Irish sport horse gelding Carl owns alongside Kirk Hopner, riding for the Maple Stirrups.
I love that name. Again, you know, the spelling's a little wishy-washy, but we'll go with it. And these two are a great partnership too.
Yeah, definitely.
been developing this
Carl's
horse.
produced the horse all the way
Yeah,
through the levels.
exactly.
And they have such a fabulous partnership now.
A little bit of a cluck around the turn there. Just saw it a little bit long for that triple bar. And these fences are tall, but they can also be quite wide. So, and triple bars usually get the horse a little bit flat. Whereas a square oxer, even though it looks big, has the horse jumping around it a little nicer. And the sun's coming out here in beautiful Ocala, Florida. Actually, we're in Reddick, but we'll just say Ocala.
Close enough.
Close enough. That's what my dad always said. Just a little conservative there, but got away with it.
Unfortunately, that rail
Oh, he did. I
falls.
missed it.
Yes.
Oh, see, I can't see that from here. You're in a different position than I am. Bummer, man.
So bummer
That's
to
all
have
right.
that down. That does add 4 faults for Fern Hill Wishes and Carl Slazak.
This team competition is
And it means that the maple stirrups will have to have one of their
getting interesting. Getting interesting.
So that is the final pair to go for the maple stirrups. Unfortunately, they will not be able to drop one of those 1 rail rounds from their score, so they complete their team score with 9 total penalties.
If he can jump clear,
You're so good at math. I'll just keep talking about the jumping. It's all good.
US Olympian Will Coleman.
Now we are making our way down to just the final 7 combinations to go. Will Coleman is next to go with TKS Cooley.
Will Coleman.
Will won last year with Gideon, so he knows
So he
what it takes.
knows what it takes and hoping to do a repeat.
This is a 9-year-old Irish sport horse gelding owned by the TKS Cooley Syndicate.
He's the first one I've seen jump that a little bit on the right side. So he was a little looky there. Again, you don't know what these horses, what happens after a fence is, you know, and I just noticed as I was watching him jump fence too, someone was walking on the backside and that could have caught the horse's eye. Boy, he tried hard there, didn't he?
There's definitely a lot going on around the arena,
Yes.
so plenty for the horses to be looking at.
Brought it back nicely there, and then again, just keeping the step around the turn to this number 7 Peak Performance Equine Services Liverpool Vertical. This horse is such a good jumper. It's quite a big effort over the Equijets Oxer to have them come back on their rear ends and be careful through that combination. It's been interesting to see how many horses have done it in the 6 versus the 7. And it really hasn't mattered except
No,
for
it
time.
hasn't.
Yeah. He should be, hold your breath. All right, good job, Will.
All clear for Will Coleman, the individual defending champion, and
So he gets
TKS
to come
Cooley.
back.
He will return for the jump off. So that is our 12th clear round. And that gives a clear round to Team Blacklist.
Again, thanking our sponsors, Lightspeed Equestrian, who's a new supporter of this Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix. LSE is a premier sales, training, and boarding facility located here in Ocala. They hand select horses from the UK and Ireland with young rider and adults in mind, and their primary goal is matching the right horse with the right rider within their skill level and budget. Budget, all important, the
Yes.
budget.
Now we look to Hannah Sue Burnett with Luke Swell, next to go for Buck Off Cancer. This is an Irish sport horse gelding owned by Krista Schmidt, Jacqueline Mars, and Sherry Niemers. He represented Ireland at the 2015 European Championships with Sam Watson, and then went to Catherine Coleman and now to Hannah.
Lovely uphill ride. 4, 5. Really nice. Down the triple bar to the Charn Worldly Martin planks. Stumbling over my words here. It's all good. She took a little bit of an inside line. Quite forward. But again, this one's pretty allergic to wood.
Yes, definitely.
That was a really forward ride into the triple. And stayed away from the rails. As Jack Legoff used to say, keep the rails in the cups. So she's one away from getting into the jump off as well, and she saw that from a mile out.
Yes.
and trusted that was awesome.
All clear for Hannah Sue Burnett and Luke Sweld.
She saw that out of the turn and said, let's just keep on coming.
So Buck Off Cancer will now complete their team with 4 jumping faults.
That's pretty good score.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Next to go will be Liz Halliday Sharp for Team GB-ish, riding Cooley Quicksilver, owned by the Monster Syndicate.
He's a cool looking dude. And she's wearing the
This horse is new to the advanced level, won his debut at Pine Top Advanced.
looks like she's wearing the high-low fit, doing the demo with that. Are we seeing that? Yeah.
And you have that on screen showing
Yeah.
their heart rate in real time. This is an 8-year-old Irish sport horse gelding and such an exciting horse for the future.
Very cool.
And Rob and Chris Decino of Ocala Horse Properties, our title sponsor, are also in the syndicate for this horse, so they're here watching.
Nice. Whoa, did you see him
He
kick
kicks
back there?
out.
I've seen
Yeah.
a couple horses punch out a rail like that, but he was far enough away from it. Whoa, this guy's got some scope. And nice rideability, because he came flying out of that turn to the triple bar and just said, okay, I'll do the 5. I'll keep my feet away from the planks. She stayed out just a little. Jump that quite square, and then she'll. He looks like he could be. We got just. Oh, it stayed up. Good.
So just couldn't have breathed
I
on it a
know.
little more for it to fall. Stays in the cup.
Stay. The worst is when they fall after you've landed. It's like, wait a minute. It looks like he's getting a little onward bound, as we say now. She's gonna have to. She's good on the clock. She wants to be careful for the last jump. And I jinxed her. I'm sorry. Don't
Commentators
shoot me.
curse.
Oh,
The last rail falls for Liz
Bummer,
Halliday Sharp
man.
and Cooley Quicksilver.
terrible. Is that what that's called? Commentators curse?
Yes. So that
Kinda.
means they will have to carry jumping penalties on their final team score. They will complete with 4 penalties for their team.
Finishing on 4.
Wow. Bummer, bummer, bummer.
So Team Blacklist completes with 0 penalties. So they
Wow.
are the yes, and I'm just quickly doing the math. Team Unstable can still do that as well. They still have Sarah Cosmplick and Rubens Desiu to jump.
Yep.
Several horses up to that level. And here's another one. Khalid Rutledge with
But none of the other teams can now complete on 0 penalties aside from Team Unstable. So this is definitely getting nail biting for the team
This
competition.
is definitely getting nail biting.
Colleen Rutledge and Simi Flyer next to go for the wildcard team.
I'm sure they were able to pick the order of when of their teams. I don't know. We'll have to find that out.
Yes,
Because
the
that
team
would make a-
captains, yes,
okay.
all were able to
Yeah, great.
choose
Yeah.
order. Yes.
Because there's a little strategy involved there, I'm sure. Just like when you have team competitions at international competitions.
This is a
There's
7-year-old Westphalian mare Colleen Owens. Yeah, definitely strategy in the order, Kathy.
Yeah, definitely. Whoa.
This is
I think that's the biggest I've seen them jump that fence, number 3.
yeah, this is the youngest horse jumping today in this class.
Don't tell him that. Ooh, that got the 6. She got away with it. So he's pretty darn careful. I'm not taking any responsibility, by the way, for commentator's curse. I'm just going to put that out there right now. It's not my fault.
Huge jump there over fence 8.
And then she really says, whoa, buddy. Whoa, so she just, in my opinion, needed to make a decision if it was going to be the 6 or the 7. She decided late for the 7, and then he had to just work way too hard to get out over that middle oxer, being as young as he is. But again, still, don't tell him that, because he's just a jumping machine. A lot of heart here.
Definitely, and what an exciting horse for Colleen to have.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, she should just be thrilled.
So the 4 penalties to add for that rail down. That is going to complete the wild card team. They will finish with 8 total penalties on their team score.
So the wild cards are going to finish today on 13 points.
So counting our way down, just 3 to go now. Caroline Martin is next to go with Quantum Solace.
Former North American young rider, individual gold medalist.
Her North American young rider, individual and team gold medalist.
Riding Quantum Solace and former top horse Caroline Martin.
And he's been doing some pure show jumping down in Wellington. They were reunited at the weekend for the Aiken Showcase, and now jumping again here. It's been so much fun to see them back together, hasn't it, Kathy?
They've been just amazing. Oh, bummer. Just a little weak. Have first oxer, just caught it with the front toes on the way down, unfortunately. He has a flare nasal strip on too. Now she's just a little bit of a slip there in the turn, and then he ended up just a hair disunited, I think, for a couple strides. Hard to, I can't see that. I'm looking at the screen there. That was nice. Okay, there she goes. Nicely done. Well, she shot a great shot from Equijet to the triple and just nailed it. That was perfect. She's just hanging in there a little bit on the turns too, and there's an intention and a plan for her ride with this horse, so I think it's good because she really cut tight around from 10 to 11. So bad bit of luck on the first jump, otherwise a nice
but then
round.
Beautiful after that.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah,
and that shows a lot of poise to be able to put that behind you and execute the rest of your plan.
Exactly.
So 4 to add for Caroline Martin and Quantum Solace. That's going to complete the Young Guns team on 5 penalties. That ties them with the Maple Stirrups team.
Our leading team remains the blacklist on a 0 score.
Good team competition. Okay, so now we have Sarah.
So this is important now because this is the final to go for Team Unstable. They are looking to complete their team on 0 penalties. So Joe Meyer would be the drop scorer at this point.
No pressure, Sarah. You got
No
this.
pressure, Sarah, but she's a past winner of this class with this horse.
Lots of experience here. So hopefully that will be beneficial to all.
This is Rubens Desiu, owned by Edie Ramika, Brian Murphy, and the Corey family. And Sarah's been getting back in the groove after recovering from injury last season. So love seeing her back reunited with this horse.
With her partner.
When we talk about unbelievable jumpers.
Yeah.
He's handy, nippy, such.
He looks a little opinionated too, but I think she's in charge of that. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Oh boy. Steady now. So that's
Really
whoa,
saw our
just
distance
really,
there.
yeah. Got a little elbow action going there. But kudos to, ho 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 ho. I'm breathing. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. To put them as the anchor rider.
Yes.
You know, oh, darn. Just
Oh.
slice that turn a little
Kathy.
bit. I'm not, no responsibility.
Oh, unfortunately having that one rail
Yeah.
down. But we have to look big picture.
Exactly.
Getting back into the ring after that injury.
Yeah, she's doing amazing.
She's doing amazing.
And she gave him an amazing ride. Just a little bit
So the,
unlucky there.
so the 4 faults to add. That means that Team Blacklist will be the victors in this team competition.
All right, well, we have a new team winner. That's good. You know, we don't want to make it boring that Unstable wins all the time.
Well done, Sarah.
Okay, so we have our final rider now.
Last to go, this is Allie Knowles riding for Team West Coast aboard Miss Poppins.
Team Unstable on a team total of 4. Team West Coast are already on a minimum
Giving
score
her a
of
nice
4.
tour of the
No
arena.
team winner, but riding now for a place in the jump-off is Ali Knowles. Ali was Catherine O'Brien's Miss Poppins in the West Coasters.
This combination's quite experienced too, yeah.
This is an 8-year-old Westphalian mare, and she's
been bringing
produced
her up, yeah.
produced her up through the levels.
Yes, yeah.
Went around Fairhill, the former 2-star, now 3-star long
Three-star,
format last fall and finished 12th.
Yeah, so that's...
So we'll be stepping up to advanced level this season.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, she may have run it Rocking Horse the advanced. I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that, people. But little rough around that turn there, but nicely ridden. A nice 5. And again, just keeping the step to this little bit of a sneaky set Liverpool, because like I said, it's behind the, I mean, it has to be flush so it doesn't produce a false ground line, but that's the harder type of Liverpool to jump, because most of the Liverpool is behind the jump.
So we have 13 currently in the jump off. Allie Knowles is looking to become the 14th.
This one's got some little springs in her legs, doesn't she?
She's quite a compact little mare, but springs.
There you go. Nicely done.
And fast on the clock too.
Wow.
80.36 seconds. That's actually the second fastest round that we saw. Couldn't quite catch Matt Brown's blistering pace with Talking Point BCF, but again, all the clear rounds are going forward the jump off.
So that'll be fantastic. Good competition.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to have 14 in all come back to jump off over Chris Barnard's shortened track.
Right, and they'll take out some of the jumps too, so that'll make a difference, and that most of the riders optimistically will have already walked the jump off course, and they will know which jumps are being taken out, so they have already planned their route if they're going to be there.
And Team Blacklist are the victors in this team competition, so we have to send a big congratulations to them.
Yes.
Join us back in about 15 minutes for the jump off. Welcome back to the $20,000 Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. We have crowned a team winner in Team Blacklist, but who will be the individual champion? That is what we will now look to in the jump off, Kathy.
Exactly, and just studying the jump off quickly, it starts with fence 2, then goes around to directly to 4, then a roll back to 6, which is the Worldly Martin upright planks. Then it'll be interesting, they'll probably all go inside 12A to get back to number 7. And then as you can see, some of the jumps have been removed, so they'll be able to do a tight turn right around 13 to get back to 9AB. I'm guessing the bogey fence on this jump off is going to be 10, because with the triple it forced them to go out. Without that C element there, it's going to encourage them to take an angle, but it's really going into the fence.
Yeah, you're going to need to take inside turns. You're going to need to get gutsy and go for it if you want to win.
And then you get a roll back and a long gallop to 12A.
So first in for the jump off is Jessica Phoenix with Bentley's Best. We have 14 in all coming forward for this jump off.
You'll see them really, really moving. Nice shot there. And then an inside turn. Back to Worldly Martin, and nice jump there. And then, like I said, they're going inside the last fence. Kept both the Liverpools in, and a little angle there. How far out? She went quite far out wide to this, I think, in my opinion. But we'll see what her time is. And again, it's about clear as well as fast. Yep, I was right. That was one down. No, sorry. I believe that's going to be the bogey fence.
I think you're totally right, Kathy. That is very, very tricky.
Yeah.
So
because that fence is not perpendicular to the rail. It's just set on a slight angle.
So 4 faults to add in a time of 50.47 for Jessica Phoenix and Bentley's Best.
In 50.47 seconds.
And again, like I said right before the break, the riders have, you know, when they walk the original plan, the original course, they're also walking and looking at what the jump off is, because they do not get an opportunity to come back in here and look at the lines they might be taking. So that's just being optimistic and planning ahead that you are going to come back and do the jump off.
You see there are next to go Buck Davidson and Errol Gobi.
So next to come forward, he's been national 4-star champion, Pan Am Games medalist, and ridden at the World Championships for the United
Buck
States
is one of the winning members of the Blacklist team.
So
now looking to take a chunk of that 20,000 in prize money for the individual title.
So there's his bell, and you can also see that visually, you know, fence 1 is not on the course and it is out of the course, and 9C is gone. So visually, even though they did walk and look at the jump off course, it's going to just look a little bit different with some of those jumps removed. He's coming on the outside of the Equijet Oxer, so he's probably going to angle a little bit this fence number 2. And another little trick, if you angle those verticals a little bit, if you give it a little rub, it'll run it into the standards. It doesn't pop it straight off. And he knows that.
Yes, absolutely knows
little angle
it.
there over the planks.
You can see he's really going to hug those turns, try and shave off every possible
and he went
second.
Quite forward, which you can get away with because there's not a triple. Doesn't have to worry about that third element. And he kept that up. Now it's all about coming forward and praying. Good job.
So gallop to the last.
So 4 seconds faster than Jesse.
It's all clear for Buck Davidson in a time of 46.73. So that is going to set the benchmark as we make our way through this jump off. 14 combinations in all. Next to go will be Jenny Brannigan with Ibella. Now we start really watching the clock closely, Kathy.
Yes, exactly. This is going to be quite exciting.
Jenny is a past winner of this competition.
So she knows how to do it.
She knows how to do it.
Timothy Gardner's Ibella. Jenny with the Buckoff Cancer team in the team section in the first round.
They still are
46-73.
There's the bell.
So you're looking over her shoulder, just confirming her plan in her mind.
Yep. You've always got to wait for that bell to ring. You can't just go. Officials might be tabulating scores or doing something or having a jump checked. So she's going to go a little wide to the left so she can angle back left to right over number 2. And then you can really hum around the turn. And she's angling this one. That was awesome. There's a little competition in that blood right now, don't you think? I wish the heart monitor was on her. No.
Really
Nice
slicing that Liverpool.
Slice. There's still no one. They're just still hanging out on that combination. I want to get that right. Nicely done. Now she's going to pour it on.
Now she gallops to the final fence.
She can get it.
And she's got it.
Yes.
43.61 seconds. That goes straight to the top of the leaderboard. Beautiful round for Jenny.
Really nicely done.
So now this is the round to beat.
And you've just got to take a chance. You've got to keep galloping forward. You've got to angle. You've got to be able to land and turn quickly.
Now this is a horse that I'm
I was gonna
excited
say
to
this
see
one.
because I think this is
one
going to be a
very fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Bobby Meyerhoff with Fortuna. What a round in the first round.
The first round was one of the fastest rounds, I think.
Yes, this mare is an absolute jumping machine. And she's super catty, quick to turn, so this is what she's made for.
Yeah.
So we are expecting that Bobby Meyerhoff is going to throw down
the gauntlet here.
Go off, Bobby. 43.61 seconds is time to beat, set by Jenny Brannigan with Ibella.
Yep. Just wrap around that island.
Oh, and bummer.
Bad luck.
Knocking that second fence, and
should have
that
angled it a little more.
Yeah, that is unfortunately, and that next one
the
falling
next one
as
down.
well.
So a little less careful at speed, but that's not our game. We have to, but it's still fun. Ooh. Nice quick turn there.
So the 2 down for Bobby Meyerhoff and Fortuna in the jump off. That means Jenny Brannigan and Ibella are still the pair to beat.
Yep.
Finding themselves down in 4th of 4 so far, Bobby Meyerhoff and Fortuna.
Again, thanking our title sponsor, Ocala Horse Properties, for their superb dedication to this competition. They've just been amazing. With Rob and Chris Decino, along with Matt Barney and their staff, they've cultivated the top equestrian-focused real estate company in the country. They're widely known for their exceptional relationship skills and are capable of finding the perfect home or farm at every budget level. We're really, really grateful for their support.
Absolutely. Now we look to Natalia Nieneman with Electric Lux.
Well, with that name.
I know. You would think that this is going to be a spicy jump off round.
Yep. She kind of jumped the first one straight. And again, it could be, yes, they want to be competitive. Is this the best thing for their horse today?
Exactly.
And these riders are going to make those decisions.
Yeah, so 14 combinations coming forward in this jump off. We're not going to see all of them going forward. A lot of them are going to have Red Hills in mind this weekend.
Yep. Oh.
Unfortunately, that Liverpool falls there.
Interesting, because it's the same line as the original course, but they are taking more of an inside turn. Still jumped that quite clean, but again, just quietly around the turn. Not frazzling the horse too much.
So the one down for Natalia Niedemann and Electric Lux. Jenny Brannigan and Ibella
Still leading
the jump off.
Yep. Again, going back to our sponsors, Lightspeed Equestrian. Huge shout out to them as a new supporter of the Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix. Thank you so much for your support.
Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF next to go. They rode on the winning Blacklist team.
And again, thank you to the jump crew and picking up all the poop, because that's what's helped preserves the footing.
It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
Exactly. And you're doing a fine job, girls. He's starting out a little bit conservative. But he's not now.
Oh.
Ooh, a little sassy
fresh
there.
Well, it is quite a chilly day here.
It is.
So these horses are definitely a little bit on their toes.
Yeah, it's been much cooler today than it has been for the last couple weeks. Again, it's all relative. We're here in sunny Florida, and the sun is out now, so that's awesome.
So Matt's definitely really being strategic about his lines, really trying to shave off whatever he can.
Knowing that nice turn, little gallop.
So he's just ticked over Jenny Brannigan's time.
Yeah, and Buck, so he's second. Okay.
That is going to slot him into second.
Nice, nicely done. Very smooth.
Still a great
really
round.
Nice. Yep.
Second place. Jenny Brannigan still leading the way, and she is still.
Again, a shout out to Peak Performance Equine Services, which is an extension of B.W. Furlong and Associates, which is based in Oldwick, New Jersey. Peak Performance provides the same level of industry-leading veterinary care to clients in Ocala, Florida, and Middleburg, Virginia. Big thank you to Adam Furlong and his team.
361.
Now we look to MGH Heartbeat with Justine Dutton, the better half of our course designer, Chris Barnard.
Justine Dutton.
And it's been so fabulous to see Justine really getting back to competing at the highest level after her accident at Great Meadow. And she said that this mare is the one who really made that possible for her. It also works very closely with Gemma Tattersall.
Yeah, it's just
a fabulous partnership they've formed.
Yeah, and that's coming back from an injury like that, to have a horse like this and something you can trust is just amazing. It lets you get back into it. Oh, bummer, first rail. Says that's okay.
And now you use this as a schooling opportunity.
Yep.
One of those things, Kathy, where the sport is so tough.
Exactly.
It's so hard to have everything go right on the day. So you have to kind of always keep the big picture in mind, don't you?
For sure, yep. And again, a lot of these horses are going tonight or tomorrow up to Red Hills, and first big FEI competition of the season.
Well, and also just as competitors, obviously, so much of it is about the actual riding, but a lot of it's mental as well.
Oh,
so
it's huge.
The opportunity to put yourself under this pressure, also very important.
And educational.
Educational for horse and rider.
Yep.
So you see Justine giving MGH Heartbeat a big pat. You love to see. So 3 come down in all for Justine Dutton.
Still just 3 double clears.
And Jacob Fletcher and Atlantic Domino, you see there, they are our next to go. So we have the 3 clear rounds in the jump off. Jenny Brannigan and Ibella still the pair to beat. 43.61 is their time. Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF currently sitting second. Buck Davidson and Errol Goby in third.
I think Jacob will,
He's going for it.
He's going for it.
Well, especially with a horse like this, that they know each other so well.
They do, yep.
The horse is 14 years old now, and Jacob's produced him through the levels.
Yep.
So come on, Jacob, put that foot down.
Good.
Yep.
And you know, this is fun for them too. They don't do this very often. You know, they're like, oh, this is cool. Let's do a jump off.
Oh, and he just really set up for that plank, and I was wondering if he was maybe getting a little too backward.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, adding those 4 faults to the plank.
Yep. Nice shot into the combination, though.
I just love the look on this horse's face.
Yeah.
He has such a pleasant expression. You can tell how much he's loving his
Yep.
job.
Yeah, he angled that just a little bit too much, too.
So 8 penalties to add for Jacob Fletcher with Atlantic Domino.
45.0 on the clock.
45.0. So he went quite fast, but he unfortunately knocked a couple rails down, and that's the name of the game.
Yes, we are looking for clear rounds,
Clear
and,
rounds.
and fast on the clock.
Yes. Yep.
Sharon White and Cooley Show will be the next pair to challenge Jenny Brannigan and Ibella at the top of that leaderboard. 43.61 is the time to beat, and that's by far the fastest.
That
Kathy.
is,
That's
yeah.
nearly 3 seconds
3 seconds
faster
than
than Matt
Matt.
Brown.
Yep. Yeah.
Now this is quite a big horse, so he wouldn't necessarily be the nippiest type we have in this jump off,
But he's so
boy,
careful.
can he jump.
Yeah.
He is so careful.
She's going for it.
Oh, go on,
Wrap
Sharon.
around that
Go
tree.
on, girl.
You got this. Keep coming. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he just has scope for days.
She saw that one a mile away. That was great.
And he had no intention of touching that plane.
No.
Great shot there.
Yep. Keep coming. She's on it. Good boy. Up, up, up. Is it up? I can't see that.
She touched it, but it stayed in the cups.
Yes. Oh, the bogey fence. I told you that was going to be it.
Unfortunately, that plank gate falls, and she just guns it down to the
cross
last
country
anyway.
jumped this one.
Oh, unfortunate
Fourth
four
place.
faults to
Yeah.
add for Sharon White and Cooley Show. That is the fastest of the 4 fault rounds.
Yes.
But
Yep.
unfortunately, we need those clear, Kathy. Now we look to Leslie Law and Voltaire de Trey. 5 more to go in this jump off. 3 clear rounds. So jumping penalties proving costly.
Exactly. Yep.
And you'd expect that once you add in speed, that's all the more difficult.
That's right. And on cross country, these horses can go fast and give it a rub, and it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But they don't jump these show jumps that fast.
Right.
That's not their job.
No, but it's fun when we get this one day out of the year.
That's right, to do it.
Yeah. So, of course, Leslie, highly decorated rider for Great Britain,
Yep.
the individual gold medal winner at the 2004 Athens Olympic Games. He will bring all of that experience forward as he looks for the fastest jump-off round with Voltaire de Trey. 43.61
angling
seconds.
quite sharply the first fence as well. Nicely done.
Very angled.
Very angled. But our horses do that, so we can do that. Very good. The tighter the turn, I mean, that's what, you know, seeing the jumps late and stuff, that's what these horses do, and solve the puzzle right away.
He's definitely really shaving every possible millimeter that he can.
Now he's got to hum. Now he's got to move. He's got to move. Just.
Yep, he's already ticked over
yeah.
Jenny's time. So a good clear round in this jump off.
Still
That's
right
going to
second.
slot them into second.
Yep, that's good. Yep, well done. And nicely smooth, tight turns, jumped fences on the angle, kept the rails in the cups. That was really nicely done.
So looking at this again, Kathy, that is the exact same time as Matt Brown in Talking Point BCF.
Well, they have him ranked second, so.
On the exact same time.
Well, I'm not sure how you break that tie.
So 4 more to
Someone
go.
better
in the
have a
jump
nice coin around here somewhere.
So amazing that Leslie Law,
Flipping
Matt
it.
Brown, 46.58, both in equal second
Okay,
at the moment.
so tied.
43.61, Jenny Brannigan still out in front.
Right.
And just a handful to come here, starting off with Mia Farley.
Now you see Mia Farley coming in with BGS Firecracker.
Just got a little shout out from the crowd. You got this.
Now this mare is very careful, very catty.
Right.
Mia can definitely throw down here. Go on, girl.
It's just interesting to see how they start, the mindset. She's, again, Nice, solid angled first fence. She's on it.
Rubs that, but it stays in the cups.
Stays in the cups. Ooh, she's just a little bit of a discussion. Yeah. Just a little bit less rideability.
Well, and it is such a challenge. You know, we have such careful plans with the way
Absolutely.
we showed up our horses.
That's right.
And then,
all of a sudden we change the rules.
Exactly.
Guess what? We're going fast now, and you have to keep the rails up. Nicely finished.
Yes.
Though. Really good. Yep.
So 4 faults to add for Mia Farley and VGS Firecracker. So we have those 4 clear rounds. Jenny Brannigan and Ibella, setting the tone early on.
Very, very competitive.
Still leading. And Will Coleman, last year's winner with Gideon. This year he rides TKS Cooley. He's next to go for it. Of course, also riding on that winning team blacklist.
That's right. Yeah. So he's been here before in this situation. He's gonna.
Oh, he's totally gonna go for it.
He's gonna totally go for it. He's probably looking over at Jenny and saying, "Just wait.
Just you wait."
Such a fun day of competition here, isn't it?
Well, and the sun's come out to join us now.
Exactly. Yep.
A little warmer than it was earlier.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
He's starting out on cross-country speed.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you've just got to take a gamble that they keep the rails up.
Oh, my goodness. This horse is some freak of a jumper.
That was nice. He got a good distance.
Yep.
You got to keep coming forward there. A couple of riders have said, hang on, it's a plank and been a little bit too protective, and that's why it's come down. That was that was one of the tightest turns into that combination that I've seen.
Will Coleman absolutely showing that he wants to win this thing.
He's going to go for it. Come on, buddy.
Gallop,
Bring
Will.
it.
Gallop.
Gallop.
And
he does by 2 seconds.
41.68 seconds, straight to the top of that leaderboard.
Good job. Well done, Will. Super, super, super.
I love how casual he is.
He's like, yeah, okay,
by our
we're done. It's all good.
Very, very good.
Well, that is the man to beat. 2 seconds faster than Jenny Brannigan, who already set a very fast time.
Very fast time, yes. Yep.
Now 2 more to go. Can anyone catch that pace, Kathy?
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And the one of the keys I thought was he rode nicely forward to that plank. He didn't second guess himself on the distance there.
Right.
So the horse was able to jump it without any interference. And he did one of the tighter turns to that combination 9AB. A lot of people were hanging out a little bit. So I think that's where he shaved the 2 seconds, was in that turn.
I think you're right. Now we look to Hannah Supernet with Luke Swell. Can she catch that time of 41.68 seconds? This is a newer ride for her. Former European Championship ride of Sam Watson.
68 is the new time to
She is definitely going for it.
She's a competitor, but a little tug there. Yep, good gallop. And that's, like I said, one of the things about these riders and competing these horses in this is that they angle things all the time and they jump things that weird all the time. So that's not new. But keeping the rails up at that speed, at that angle is.
That darn bogey fence.
I know, I said it. That was going to be the bogey fence.
I want to say 43.
Fast on the clock.
Fast on the clock, yeah, because if that would have stayed up, she'd have been just 0.7 ahead of her, right? Okay.
Will Coleman and TKS Cooley, they are the pair to beat. We look to our final pair in this jump off. Allie Knowles and Miss Poppins.
You got this, Allie.
So our final rider
You just got to be that little bit daring too, which is what both Will and Jenny were, and the rails stayed up.
41.68 seconds.
It's a time to beat.
Will Coleman left absolutely nothing on the table
No,
to
he
get
did
that
not.
time. So the gloves have to come off here. Allie definitely sliced that first one.
Yep, she did. Yeah, nicely done there. Good.
This is another.
He made it, the jump off, he made it nice and smooth, which is great.
Unfortunately, the plank falls, which means Will Coleman and TKS Cooley are our winners.
There you go.
And unfortunately, a second one falling there.
And the bogey fence came down.
So not quite going to plan in this jump off, but like we said, it's a totally different ask for these event horses to come and do this jump off, which is why it's so fun to have this show every year.
For sure.
So Will Coleman and TKS Cooley, a dominant victory in this $20,000 Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Prix Invitational. Jenny Brannigan and Ibella finished second, with Matt Brown and Talking Point BCF and Leslie Law and Voltaire Detray finishing in third, tied.
Amazing.
Yes, and we have to thank Ocala Horse Properties for sponsoring what is always such a fun day at this event.
It was an amazing day. Again, huge thanks to them. Huge thanks to Lightspeed Equestrian, Worldly Martin Equestrian, Peak Performance Equine Services, and Stellos Electric as our main sponsors, and all the jump sponsors, and all the jump crew, and Max and Scott, and the on
Max
and on and on for the vision.
And Will Coleman wins for the second year in a row, which is definitely exciting. He's now started a win streak.
That's right, he has.
So now he's going to have to come back next year
and do it again.
And defend it again. And of course, the Blacklist team topping those team standings, followed by Team Unstable and the West Coast team. Thank you so much to everyone for watching at home for what's always one of my favorite shows of the year.
I love this show. It's just great. It's so much fun. And good luck to everyone going off to Red Hills, and we'll see you out there.
Yes, now we go on to Red Hills. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a good day, everyone. Stay safe.